Among the many titles used by and about Jesus in the New Testament, perhaps none is more intriguing and theologically rich than Son of Man. While titles such as Messiah, Son of God, and Lord are often attributed to him by others, Son of Man is the one title Jesus most frequently uses for himself, appearing over 80 times in the Gospels. This term is not simply a poetic way of saying human. Instead, it is a deeply significant and multi-layered phrase rooted in Old Testament prophecy, Christological theology, and Jesus' own strategy for revealing his mission. The primary background for the title Son of Man comes from the book of Daniel, written centuries before Jesus. In Daniel 7:13-14, the prophet writes of a vision. I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man, and he came to the Ancient of Days, and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory, and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. In this vision, the Son of Man is not just a human figure, but a heavenly being who receives eternal authority, glory, and universal worship. He approaches the Ancient of Days, God the Father, and is enthroned as a ruler over all creation. By identifying himself with this figure, Jesus makes a profound claim. He is not just the Jewish Messiah, but the divine ruler of God's everlasting kingdom. This association ties the Son of Man directly to the expectation of a coming divine king who would judge the world and establish God's reign. While the title Son of Man has exalted connotations in Daniel's vision, it also reflects a very human aspect. In Hebrew idiom, Son of Man or Ben Adam can simply mean a human being, emphasizing mortality and weakness. For instance, the prophet Ezekiel is repeatedly addressed by God as Son of Man, highlighting his humanity in contrast to God's divinity. Jesus, by using this phrase, affirms that he is fully human, not just appearing in human form, but truly sharing in human nature. He was born of a woman, experienced temptation, suffered, and ultimately died. This humanity is essential to Christian theology. Only by truly becoming man could Christ redeem mankind, acting as a new Adam and perfect representative of humanity. As Hebrews 4:15 states, he is a high priest who can sympathize with our weaknesses because he became like us in every way except sin. Unlike more politically charged titles like Messiah or King of the Jews, the phrase Son of Man was not widely used in Jewish revolutionary circles at the time. This gave Jesus a unique advantage. He could refer to his divine role and mission without immediately alarming the Roman authorities or provoking popular uprisings based on misunderstood expectations of a military or political Messiah. Thus, Son of Man served as a veiled but powerful messianic title, one that he could unpack gradually as his mission unfolded. It allowed him to maintain control over his self-revelation, avoiding premature confrontations and preparing his disciples to understand who he truly was, not merely a political savior, but the divine Son of God who would suffer and rise again. In Mark 2 it says, "But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." Here Jesus demonstrates divine authority, something only God can claim, linking the title Son of Man to his divinity. In Mark 8 it says, "The Son of Man must suffer many things and be killed, and after 3 days rise again." Jesus connects this title to the suffering servant of Isaiah, showing that his death is not a defeat, but part of God's redemptive plan. And in Matthew 24 it says, "Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." This points to his return as judge and king, echoing the vision in Daniel. Across these passages, the title Son of Man captures both his humanity and divinity, his humility and suffering, and his majesty and glory. The early church fathers also reflected deeply on Jesus' use of the title Son of Man, often linking it to both his humanity and his role as the new Adam. For example, St. Irenaeus emphasized that by calling himself the Son of Man, Jesus fully recapitulated human nature. What Adam had lost, Christ restored. In his humanity, Christ united the human race to God, defeating sin and death from within the human condition. St. Athanasius, in his classic work on the Incarnation, argued that God became man so that man might become God, that is, partakers of the divine nature. Jesus, the Son of Man, was not only a title of humility, but the very means by which our salvation was achieved. God truly became one of us. Saint Cyril of Alexandria also stressed that the Son of Man is the same person as the Son of God, stressing the unity of Christ's two natures. The title highlighted that the one who suffered on the cross was not a mere man, but God the Word made flesh. For Cyril and others, Son of Man was not a lesser or purely human identity. It revealed the astonishing humility of the divine Word who chose to enter human history for our salvation. Thus, in the patristic view, the Son of Man was a theologically rich title expressing the mystery of the Incarnation, that God became truly human without ceasing to be God, and through his humanity, lifted all of humanity toward divinization. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other content on theology and Christian history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.